Everybody, it's Retro Gaming now, and we're back with Mist Uru Complete Chronicles, and we are currently in the To Dunny portion of the game. And so we're in the Kirel neighborhood. We've already been up there to the lecture hall, and interesting to note, the fountain is not running. Got some sort of fish-looking thing over here. So let's go ahead and keep exploring this. It appears to be roughly the same to the other one, Bevan, but obviously with a couple differences. One of these differences is what this looks like down there. And let's go ahead and go down there right now. Might as well. So the general layout is the same. Some slight aesthetic differences, as I was just referring to. Like I said, there's these lanterns here, which are not in the previous one. Or, sorry, Bevan. Honestly, this one does feel a bit more lonely to me. I can't quite tell you exactly why this neighborhood feels like that. It's just sort of a feeling I get. So let's just go ahead and explore the whole thing, see if there's any more differences over here. Got some switches, which also should turn lights on and off. And it should be the red lights, which are up top. Yep. There we go. Come back to that in a minute. Let's keep exploring. This is back where we were. I think we want to go this way. Well, first let's look at our visitor's log. There's me. Once again, it's been 10 years since this game came out, or this expansion. Let's look at see if there's pictures over here. Oh no, they got rid of that. So there's a difference for you. Alright, nothing over there. I believe we want to go upstairs. This way. There we go. So let's go check out and see if the classroom is still here. Or if there is a classroom in this version of this neighborhood. Okay, up here is the lecture hall. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little confused. This is where I want to go. There we go. So let's go ahead and register this neighborhood while we're here. So that'll add it to our Nexus. Let's keep looking around. That's basically it. We haven't been in this door yet, though. So this is the classroom. The last group is leaving at 5. You are on your own after that. Victor Laxman will be organizing any contact on the surface. Write him if you wish. Goodbye, Dr. K. Perhaps Dr. Kodama. Alright, so we've basically seen everything there is to see in Kirel. And if we remember back, Sharper's journal, he was talking about his spy room and how it changed. And in the spy room we saw a picture which had the name Bob Ogubo. His journal, he also said B equals blue, O equals orange, and G equals green. Well, here we've got blue, orange, and green buttons. And since he's trying to find the private rooms in Kirel, we can try doing those in the order of Bob Ogubo. So let's go ahead and do that. B O B O G O O B O So did this do anything? The answer is yes. It unlocked this door over here, which previously was locked. Now, I'm not sure how they actually unlocked this when there were people walking around in this neighborhood. I still don't know, but... Alright. We've got a linking tablet here, and a floating egg with some stars. People like to call this the egg room. Because... well, obvious reasons. There's another linking stone. And another link. Are these all the same linking stone? Alright, so let's just remember what that looks like. No, they are not the same linking stone. I'm starting to get confused. And this is back where we started. So, these are going to lead us to 5 different areas. And, well, let's go ahead and just take them in order. This will be number 1. So this is going to take us, well, we'll see when we get there anyway. I go ahead and tell us. This is going to be Dakota Alley. Because the thing is, when we register all these books in our Nexus, we will see them anyway. So, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to explore, and that's really the strong suit of this expansion pack, so let's go ahead and register. Dakota Alley. I like how that little thing spins down there, it's kind of cool. Alright, so here's a map over here. You are here. So we're in Dakota right now, and what's left is Ferry Dakota to Dakota, which is right over here. Museum, Guild Hall, Palace, Concert Hall, and Library. This is sort of a map. We're going to go ahead and take a picture of this. Why not? Might be useful later. Over here, we've got a picture of something. It appears to be on the cavern, some sort of, I don't know, frog or crustacean or something. Obviously this is DRC sanctioned as it's all in English. And we had to use the Nexus to get here. Let's go ahead and explore around a little bit. Over here we've got, I believe this is the museum. Perhaps I should be going in order. Yeah, we're going to go in order. So we're going to start with the ferry terminal, which is going to be down by the water. Water. Which, I'm actually, oh, here it is. I think. Obviously, they don't want us falling off. I'm actually not sure this is the ferry terminal. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. Like I said, it's easy to get lost. Especially in this age. Which happens to be Earth anyway. So, alright, nothing down here. Can we go in any of these doors? Nope. Sorry for the long walk. Alright. So here we can see where we just were, all the way down there. Yeah. You know what? I don't think it matters the order too much, it's just long as I hit everything. So, I should be able to figure out what everything is from when I see it. So let's head up here. The Great... well, not the Great Stairs necessarily, maybe. A lot of them. Up here, so let's go ahead and register our RKI. Alright, we got that. And in here we've got... oh boy. The library. Yes, accounts of 26 kings. 26! Oh man. Yes, I told you there'd be a lot of reading in 2 Dunny. Oh man, there's a lot of it. Full recounts of 26 kings. Okay, oh boy. I think we're gonna have to come back to this later. Because there's just so much here. And I mean, if you like Dunny, like the culture and stuff, that's really cool. But, oh, there's just so many of them to read out loud. I mean, I'm not complaining. I chose to play this game. So we're just going to go ahead and keep exploring. We'll come back to this later. Heading on down here. Is an sort of observation point. You can see we got a broken bridge up there. We were actually just over there. Came down from over here. And we can head on up this way. So basically we were exploring this entire island. And you just have to make sure you don't get too lost, because you can certainly get lost. But the nice thing is we've got the Nexus, which can sort of jump us around the island if we have to do that. Okay, here's that bridge we were just looking at. Very rickety, very long fall. Is there even going to be anything up here? These sawhorses, they're pretty inconsistent, because sometimes I can't get past them, and sometimes I can. What the heck, DRC? Anyway. Very nice structure. Beautiful, beautiful, anyway. Alright, let's register this location. I want to say we're in the concert hall right now. We've definitely taken this out of order. I can't get past these. Yeah, this is definitely the concert hall. So unfortunately we can't enter it, which is a little bit sad. That's okay, we've got it. You can see we've got the Arch of Kerith, which we'll get to in a minute. So down here on the docks beneath us is where we linked in first. That's not right. That's where we linked in earlier. We didn't link there first. We were in Bevan first. So I'm doing this wildly out of order. So we're just trying to get all these books here and sort of sightseeing while we're at it. Like I said, there's not a ton of real puzzles in 2 Dunny. We've already got through a bulk of them already. So let's explore this way. This is the library up here, I believe. We'll find out in a minute. Got some water up here. Do not drink it. So there's the arch. We get a little bit of a better view. Jump down like 15 stairs at once. And there we go. This is the library. We've actually seen this before. We were up on an archway somewhere when we looked at it. I don't remember specifically which archway or where we got to it from. And I like the music to the library a lot, actually. But we can't enter it this way. Alright, so as I was saying, here we are at the library. We can't get in up there. So let's try downstairs. happens automatically for me. Empty over here. It's unfortunate. And I'm a bit broken over here. Let's head down a level. Like I said, I really do enjoy the music for this area, especially. I'm not sure if we can actually get further. Let's see if there's a way. Can we jump down this way or not? Doesn't look like we can, unfortunately, so let's head back out. Give me a sec, sorry. Back up to the top and see if we can see something else up top. How do I get there? Oh wait, here we've got something. Some DRC notebooks, which we are going to read. The Meeman story. The story of Meeman, taken from book 210, or 21D. Translation Nick, first draft. And a dark sickness spread through the city, and sores broke out on the skin of those who the sickness touched. Might be better translated infected, but touch fits with the literary style. And some began to die. The sickness came from Yassif, for where the large trees grew and where the wood of Yemen was harvested. As it was there was great fear in the houses of all those who lived with Yemen close to them. And so great fear spread through the king's household, and through all those who worked in the halls of the guilds and who looked over the city. Such fear overcame the minds of reason, and many began to flee the city, and run to the other places that were available to them. But King Meeman was angry at those who ran, and was himself unafraid, literally not of fear. And so he called for the healer, Grandmaster Shemif, to come to his room. And although Shemif was preparing to flee, he obeyed the king and came to him quickly. Grandmaster Shemif, the king asked his healer, have you not read the histories of our people? Have you not been instructed in the ways of those who led your guild in the generations before you? Are you not aware of the plague this place has already seen? My king, it is for these reasons that I am prepared to flee. For I know those who died and those who were unable to prevent it from taking hold of them. I know this plague in detail. And the king answered, Depart, I have no time for you, Shemif. Depart to your own age, and do not return to this place again. May it be that my eyes never look upon your face again. And Shemif departed from King Meeman, and he never saw him again. And King Meeman called for the guildmaster Anan of the guild healers. And although Anan was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Anan, the king asked his healer, have you too not read the histories of your people? Have you not heard the ways of those who led your guild 3,000 years ago? My king, of course, it is these reasons that I know what may happen to our people. It is for that reason that we protect ourselves first, so that we may protect those who trust us for protection. What? Okay. It is not how I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may I never see you again, King Meeman ordered. And King Meeman called for Guildmaster Raman of the Guild of Healers. And though Raman was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Raman, the king asked his healer, tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me you have heard of the destruction of the sickness that overcame our people 3,000 years ago. Of course, my king, it is for these reasons that we must bring the ancient books to another age, so that we may study our records and learn in the ways that we must fight. But to stay here would be suicide. It is as I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may you never see the light of lake again, King Meeman ordered. And King Meeman was greatly disturbed and troubled, and he stayed in his room 4 nights. His servants brought food for him, but he refused to eat. And his servants brought advisors, but he refused to speak. And all those around him became worried, as even more the city became empty. And finally King Meeman called for the guild captain Aram of the Guild of Healers. And Aram was studying in the guild, and he obeyed his king and came quickly. Guild captain Aram, the king asked his healer, tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me that not all of Dunny is running in fear of sickness that can be defeated. Of course, my king, it is for these reasons that I have not left my class since I first heard of the sickness appearing in the district where the trees appear. I understand that our father, The honored guildmaster Jason worked for 6 years even after the Book of Brienne was found. He worked day and night and stood by our people as he sought to save them from the sickness that has even infected our king. It is for these reasons that I will not leave this place until the sickness is no longer in our city. Tell me whatever you need and it will be yours. You are most honored in this palace today, and Dunny will be saved because of you." And King Miman was filled with joy, and he ate from the food his servants brought him, and spoke with the advisors who came to speak. And it was, Iram spent day and night without sleeping for 4 more days, and on the 5th day the cure was found, and the sickness was deadly no longer. And King Miman gave the Guild of Healers to Iram, and he was known as Grand Master from that day forward. Shemef, Anam, and Raymond were restricted from the Guild of Healers and never again allowed inside of it or the palace of any of the king's dwellings and structures. And King Miman ordered the surveying of a new section of the city to be called Nehwiril, and this section was to be away from the city so that any sickness brought from the other worlds would not be brought to the heart of the city, but instead away, so that fear would not spread again. And he ordered the story of Grandmaster Iram to be taught to all those who were instructed by the Guild of Healers from that day forward, so that no one forget the power of Dunny and the great strength of their medicines and learning. Seems a good place to stop. I filled in a few words that I weren't sure about, but overall I feel pretty good about this one. So it's a parable. Let's do another one. Kedri story. The story of Kedri, taken from book 42b, translation Nick. First draft. Kedri loved his people, and the people of Dunny loved their king, for Kedri did well in the eyes of Yavo, and sought to serve those whom he led. In the 48th year of his reign, Kedri roamed the streets of Aguera and was greatly disturbed. For even though all people, rich and poor, loved their king, Kedri saw that the entire island of Aguera was filled with those who were prosperous, and those who governed Dunny. "Where are my people?" Kedri asked to those who walked with him. "All around you," they answered, pointing to the crowds that followed them. "Yet I do not see my people here. I see masters of the guild, and I see owners of our stores. But I do not see those who have no option to join the guild, or those who have built the stores. Where are my people on this island?" So the king called together his counselors and expressed his disappointments, and he ordered that a new place isn't right, but I'm having trouble with this word, not the usual district word either, although that might be a better translation, or home, be built on the island, and that the name of the place be Shamathaken. He ordered that Shamathan be made available to those who did not possess the wealth and stature of the elite, but to those who were not so fortunate. Still, they were his people, and the area was built, and Kedri was joyful to see his people live in such a place. Same word again. A short while later, after the area of Shamathan began to grow, Kedri was walking through the city, conversing with his people and telling them of his plans. And Kedri was led to the common library because he wanted to see the ages that he heard his people talk of. Right here, actually. And again the king was disturbed and asked his advisors, "Where are the books that the great Dunny have written?" "All around you," they answered, pointing to the rows of books that lined the shelves. "Yet I do not see the ages of our people here. I see ages that resemble failed school assignments for the students of writers. I see ages that not even those students would visit, much less a king. So I ask you again, where are the great ages of Dunny?" So the king returned to his palace and ordered his counselors to bring his most prized book, The Age of Kings, written during the reign of his grandfather, to the common library so that the people of Dunny might be able to see the skills of great writers, even as he had seen them. And the people loved their king more than they had before. So the king called his advisors and ordered them to add to the great temple so that Yavo might be pleased, and so all of Dunny could visit their god. Really, it's a form of Yavo again. I thought God made more sense, though. In his house, just as those with money, an inherited kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the opera house so that all of Dunny could hear the skills of the song of people, just as those with money, an earned kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the district of Baleri, so the area started by the king Rari might not fall into disrepair but be treated as all the other areas of the city, and that all of Dunny might live in prosperity, just as those with money, both earned and inherited, were allowed to do. And all the people of Dunny grew to love their king more than they had before. Some trouble spots here. Seems there are a few different kinds of money words. Might need help with those, as well as the whole place thing. And finally, we've got Mirta story. I'll just call it Mirta. The story of Mirta, taken from 28b, translation Nick. First draft. In the time of Mirta, in the 196th year of his reign, Jolatha, his mother, came to him in his bedroom. Now it was well known throughout the city that Mirta in his craving lust for women. Of Mirta in his craving lust for women. And none knew this weakness, a weakness of choice is more literal, so more than his own mother. So it was that Jolotha brought with her own woman Ramel, who worshipped the tree. Ramel's beauty was well known in Dunny, especially among those who worshipped the tree, and especially among the kings. Plural kings here, although I don't know why. Maybe implied a whole king's palace or history. Not sure. But as it was, though the king could have any object in Dunny, Ramel had been held from him by his mother until now, and she offered her son Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. But what are your purposes? The king asked. For do you think me so foolish as to give you anything you want for a mere woman? Of course not, my son. But as you know, you have watched Ramel from afar for many years. You have talked to your advisors and plotted ways in which you could make her yours. But you have been unable to even look upon her so closely until this day. Until this day that I have brought her to you. So I do not think I am so foolish as to believe this woman is a mere woman. You have spoken truthfully, in fact. I gaze upon her now, I never imagined her to be so beautiful. She is like a statue, without flaw. But even so, do you think I would give you whatever you wish for even a woman such as this? Now Jalatha was cunning, and Mirta was eager for Ramel. And every day Jalatha brought the woman into the king's bedroom, and every day she offered her son the woman Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. And as the nights passed, Mirta became unsatisfied with those who were already in his, became spiteful of those who came to his bedroom, for none compared to the woman Ramel whom his mother continued to withhold from him. And finally he could resist his mother's arguments no longer. And Jalatha came to his bedroom with the woman Ramel, and King Mirta began to speak. The woman has ruined my life. There is none like her in all my ages, and you bring her to this room night after night. Those who I found beautiful have failed in comparison to this one, and I no longer find pleasure in them. Therefore I am no longer satisfied with anything, and will not be satisfied until this woman is mine. What is it that you ask of me? Whatever it is, I will give you. You have my word. Very well, son, I will talk to you tomorrow. And Jalatha gave the woman Ramel, of the worshippers of the tree, to her son. And Ramel was King Mirta's from that day forward. At dawn of the next day, Jalatha came to Mirta while he was still sleeping, and told him her purposes. The Guild of Writers has long had their rules, their restrictions, and their ancient oaths. But you realize, my son, that these words are old now, no longer the ways of our people. Renerif was responsible for them, and they're a collar around our necks, growing even tighter and preventing us from moving forward. It is time that we are freed. Even Mirta was disturbed. But there are none who would agree to this. The oath is as stone, and cannot be altered, for it has never been. And yet, not only you ask me to change the oath, but contradicts the things it says? And Jalatha grew angry. Are you so foolish? Do you think I am to ask you to carry out the impossible? There is but one thing that must be changed, one thing that will give us freedom. It is the Dunny who have created the art, as we know it, not the Yavo. Thus, since it is true, it is us who can determine the rules of the art, not the ancient religious writings. They will view it as blasphemy, the king responded, but I will do as you say. And so King Mirta wrote to the Guild of Writers. His words were well crafted, often from his mother, and his arguments were strong, for they too Jalatha gave him. And his effort was great, for there was no other woman besides Ramel, and it was the woman he lived for. However, though many in the Guild of Writers were easily convinced by the sharp words of the king, there was one who was not. Grandmaster Trimall was old in age and wise beyond even his years, and his decision was hard. The word is a certain kind of stone that was considered to be the most hard and immovable, and he would not be moved. Never will we change what Alacia is written in the oaths. Never will we change what is spoken for generations. Never will we allow a crack to be opened in the great wall of our guild. For it is tyranny that you seek. But is tyranny not the reason we exist? For Dremel could see the plans of Jalatha even in the words of the king. And Dremel knew that if the ancient religious writings did not determine their fate, the hearts of men would rule, and there would be nothing to stop Jalatha from having her way. And so for 3 days Dremel stood to the words of the king. For 3 days the king would return to his palace and receive new words from his mother. For 3 days the anger of Jalatha burned against Dremel and grew stronger. And so it was that on the 4th day, when the king was no longer welcome to the guild, Grandmaster Dremel was found hanging from a tree, his body covered in blood. The king was sad when he heard the news, for he held no bitterness in his heart toward Dremel. But when Jalatha heard the news, she was overjoyed and ordered the king to the Guild of Writers to change the oath and carry out her own purposes. But as it was, the death of Dremel had breathed boldness into the guild, and in unison they denounced the wicked evil that had killed their Grand Master, and vowed that the oaths of their guild would never be changed and that there would be no more discussions. So Jalatha devised of her other plans, for she knew that even she could not change such determined, the same word used as above, as the hardened stone, guildsmen. And King Mirtha lived with Ramles, and he was satisfied with all those who visited his room again. Even as though he was filled with pleasure, Jalatha plotted evil. The city which he lived grew weak. Probably ready for Dr. Watson review. Alright, so just a couple parables. I do like the Dunny parables a lot more than the King stories. King stories get old fast. So let's head back out. We are going to register this place with our KI. If I can figure out how to get out of here. I think it's these doors over here. Yeah, it's kind of an empty library. At least we can't access most of it. And I'm sure the DRC would have taken all the books out anyway, so might not have been much of a help. Let's look around here, see if we can find our Nexus portal. It's got to be somewhere in here. And once we get this, we're going to head back to Kirel and explore the rest of it. Since I decided to choose the far ones first. Ah, there it is over there. The distant locations first, unfortunately. So let's register this. We're going to head back to Kirel using this book. Alright. Stick our KI in. And straight back to Kirel. And here we go. Alright, so let's go where we haven't been, which I believe you have to go this way to get there. I think this way, this takes us back, this takes us to the Nexus, so we don't need to go there. We do need to go in here. And take our first Borrow Stone. Out of the egg room. Alright, here we are. We cannot go... Oh, yes, we can, actually. We don't want to go down there. We want to go up. Yeah, I apologize. I know there's not a ton to do right now. But like I said, we're going to come back to a lot of this stuff later. Right now we're just exploring a ton of... just to first further our Nexus, but second, just to learn a little bit more about Dunny. So this is the museum right here, which I almost went into and didn't previously. So let's head in here and see what we've got. It's pretty cool. There's not a lot here, though. But there is a Yisha page. I'm not sure what that does, but we'll get to that in a minute when we link back to Relto. There's a painting. Another painting. Anyway, that's it for the museum. Yeah, I know the DRC makes it so there's a lot of stuff we can't actually explore as much as we like to, unfortunately. But we're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. Looking around, can we go in here? I don't know if we can. I don't think we can. Let's go up this way. Here's the stairs. I believe we have to go up those in a minute. Let's just check and see if there's anything else. Can we go here? I think we can go in here. Well, no we can't, but we've actually been up on this rooftop before. I'm just going to point that out. This is one of the rooftops that we've been up to. And we looked through this telescope and we sort of saw this whole neighborhood down there. But I don't remember what age it's from. Alright. That's actually all there is to do in Kirel. Or this area of it, unfortunately. So we're going to head back to Relto and see what we've got. What this eShip page added. What did it add? I'm not actually sure. Zits. Up here, maybe? Oh, I know what it is. It's 2 moons. There we go. That's what it is. It added a sun and 2 moons. Now we're starting to look a little bit more like Phil's Relto. Not as dreary as Phil's Relto, though. Alright, so we're going to head back to Kirel and explore the other 2 linking stones. Or, sorry, the other 4 linking stones. Cool. That on there. Alright, so now we gotta go to the private rooms. So we're just straight up here. Right over there. And it's this one straight ahead, the egg room in here. Alright, so let's circle around this way. So we've got here. We may have actually already been here. I'm not sure. We're going to head here just to make sure. Alright, here we are. This looks like concert hall, possibly. I don't remember exactly. Oh no, this is the library. Or the palace. With all the king histories. Alright, so we've already been here. There's actually a faster way to get here. So let's head back on to the egg room. And go to the 3rd Borrow Stone. Like I said, I apologize. And it might seem a little bit boring just walking around, but honestly, that's just a lot of what this expansion pack is. Just exploring. I'm going to tell you, it's only going to get worse. And honestly, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I do enjoy sightseeing. But, yeah, I don't know. Pretty soon, actually, this next Borrow Stone, we're actually going to get something to do. So that's going to be nice. So we need to go back up to the private rooms, straight up there. And take the 3rd Borrow Stone. Actually, I'm just going to check these other... see if we've already been to these places yet. We certainly might have. That looks kind of like the concert hall to me. We've definitely not been here, though. I'm going to go ahead and take that. And we are now at the Great Zero. We have seen a lot of talk about the Great Zero, yet we don't know exactly what it is. Here we've got our Nexus portal. And the Great Zero. How about that? We're going to read that. Alright, draft copy 1.04 DRC. Welcome to the Great Zero. You'll notice a number of different areas that the Great Zero structure, as well as a number of various machines. We apologize for the great detail, but the structure and related mechanisms and systems are somewhat complicated. Antechamber. You are currently standing in the Great Zero antechamber. Though you can see the Great Zero machinery through the small window, access to the Great Zero courtyard is not available directly from the antechamber. In order to access the plaza, you will need to upload 5 Great Zero markers into your Great Zero system and link them into the plaza via your Nexus. Great Zero marker uploads. Great Zero markers, found in numerous locations throughout the cavern, are fairly easy to find, and by following a few easy steps, simple to upload into the system. Number 1. Once you have a KI version 2.0 or higher, which you have if you linked here by way of Nexus, you will still need to upgrade your KI to retrieve marker coordinates. That can be done easily by placing your KI in the upload machine in this room. The first time a KI is inserted, your system will enable your KI to retrieve markers. If you see 5 faint colored lights on your KI, then you have properly enabled your KI to retrieve markers. 2. Find GZMs. They are located throughout the cavern in a variety of locations. Please note that markers can be in a large variety of places, not just the more common paths. However, be aware that these markers will not be visible unless they sense an upgraded KI within 25 feet. 3. Before the point they are visible to the naked eye, as long as there is an unobstructed view, a small light on your KI will also begin to flash as an indicator. Once you see the GZM, you will need to touch it. You will know the GZM has been registered if one of the faint lights turns solid. Once you have found 5 GZMs and have 5 solid lights in your KI, you will need to return here to the antechamber and upload your GZMs into the system. You can use the same machine you used to initiate your KI to do that. Great Zero Courtyard. Once you have uploaded 5 GZMs, you will find a new link in your Nexus. That link will take you to the Great Zero Courtyard, the central location of the Great Zero Neutrino Dispenser. 2. You will see another upload machine inside the courtyard, as well as a couple of doors toward the back of the room. Great Zero Calibration Center access. The Calibration Center is located beyond the courtyard and cannot be accessed unless a KI has registered more GZMs, more than 5 that are needed to access the courtyard. Registering is done the same way as listed above. You'll have a new set of fate lights. As GZMs are found, they will turn solid again. Once the second set of GZMs has been uploaded, either in the courtyard or the antechamber, the doors leading to the Calibration Center will automatically open for you from that point forward. Great Zero Calibration Center. More important to the Calibration Center are the 4 Great Zero maintenance units, GZMUs, towards the back, as well as the Calibration Imager. Once you've unloaded 20 GZM markers in the upload machines, in either antechamber or courtyard, you'll be allowed to access the machines and the ability to find a new type of marker, known as Calibration Great Zero Marker, CGZM. Calibration Great Zero Markers. Once you have reached the Great Zero Calibration Center, your KI only needs to finish the calibration process by synchronizing calibrations with the Great Zero itself. 2. There are 4 machines that enable you to carry out the final task. 3. You will need to receive a coordinate from one of the 3 machines, the 4th is not yet available, and find the single marker at the coordinate. Similar to the earlier markers, it will only become visible when you have entered a certain radius, and you will have to touch it. After you've found the first one, you'll need to return to the Calibration Center and insert your KI into one of the machines. At that time, you'll be able to read one of the 3 coordinates in your KI. 4. After the second, you'll be able to read 2. 5. After the third, you'll be able to read 3. 6. At that point, the 4th will become available. 7. After you've found the 4th marker, your KI will be calibrated. 8. If the Great Zero has not been turned on, it will also be turned on. Is this true, Laxman? We obviously haven't tested this. 9. And you're finished. Congratulations. We at the DRC hope that this document has provided you with a better understanding of the KI and Great Zero functionality. We also hope you realize how vital your success is to help calibrate ours at Great Zero. We appreciate your support greatly. This too mushy might be a little over the top. And again, thank you for visiting the Great Zero, and we appreciate your patience and support. Alright. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but let's just do this. Alright. And, just like that, you see we've got our 5 markers. And this is flashing that there's one of these right here. So we click that, and it adds it to our thing. So basically, what we have to do now is find Great Zero markers, which means exploring a lot of this stuff again. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. This is Retro Gaming Now, playing in Mist Uru Complete Chronicles, the 2 Dunny expansion pack. And we're going to find some more GZMs in the next episode. We'll see you guys later. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you.